Why old bathrooms had a separate toilet room. Walk into a home before 1950 and you'll find something that almost no new home has anymore. The toilet in its own little room, with its own door, completely separate from the sink and tub area. Builders spent the last 70 years deleting that room. And right now, quietly, it's coming back fast. I've renovated more than 500 homes, and that separate toilet room, the water closet, is one of the most requested things I'm building back into master bathrooms today. I literally closed a job last week, so in the next few minutes, I'm going to tell you why old houses bothered to wall the toilet off in the first place, and why builders killed it, why it's roaring back, and the part that actually matters to you, whether you should carve one into your own bathroom when you renovate, because this is a decision you lock in before the walls close. And getting it right is the difference between a bathroom two people can actually share and one you'll quietly resent every single morning. Let's get into it. First, let's be clear on what we're even talking about. A water closet is just a small enclosed room inside your bathroom that holds the toilet and nothing else. Toilet, four walls, a door, that's it. Not the most glamorous name, it's just the name it's been given. Water closet, but that's the name. That's the end of the story. And this part should bug you a little bit. For most of history, indoor plumbing, this was a standard. The toilet got its own room by default. Then we spent decades knocking those walls down and cramming everything into one big open bathroom. And now people are paying me to build walls back. So somebody somewhere made the wrong call. Let's figure out who. So why did old houses put the toilet in its own room? One word: spell. Go back to the early days of indoor plumbing, before the plumbing was any good. The pipes ran straight down to the sewer or the cesspit. There was nothing stopping sewer gas from drifting back up through the toilet and into the house. And it was bad. It was the kind of smell, well, have you ever been in a porta potty? I guess you get it. So when homes first brought the toilet indoors, they had that obvious thing. They put it in a small, most closed off space they could find. A little closet that actually tucked away at the back of the house or under the stairs with a door that you kept shut. A closet with water plumbed into it, hence the name water closet. That's literally where the name comes from. And the logic was dead simple. You don't want the room where you washed your face and bathed your kids sharing the air with the water closet or toilet. Keep the dirty thing behind its own door, away from the clean things. Pretty simple. For people living through the early days of indoor sewage, it wasn't a design preference, it was survival. So if it worked that well, why did it disappear? Two things changed. First was a little piece of plumbing called the S-trap. It's that curved section of pipe under every toilet and sink. It holds the small plug of water that seals off the sewer gas and stops it from coming back up. Now, once that became a standard, the smell problem was basically solved. The toilet stopped stinking up the room, so the original reason for giving it its own separate room was mostly gone. Now, the second thing is what really did it: money and square footage. The open bathroom is cheaper to build than a bathroom plus a separate walled off room. Fewer walls, less framing, a shorter plumbing run, less labor. So builders, especially the production guys cranking out homes after the 50s, ran the numbers and combined it all into one room. Then the designers piled on, because the big open spa bathroom, everything out on display, under nice lighting, became the look everybody suddenly wanted. The separate toilet room started to feel old-fashioned, like something out of your grandma's house. So sit there for a second. The water closet worked fine. It got deleted anyways, because one room cost the builder less to frame and plumbing than two, and because the wide open bathroom looked better in the brochure, cheaper to build, easier to sell. That's the whole reason it vanished. Not really that complicated. Now let's talk about why it's coming back, because it absolutely is. And there's real force numbers behind this, guys. The first, privacy. And this is the big one. Somewhere along the way, we started putting two sinks in the master bath so couples could share it. And then we left the toilet sitting right out there in the open. Same shared room. Think about how that actually plays out. One of you's at the sink getting ready. The other one, well, they need the toilet. And now you're both just sitting there every morning. A separate toilet room. Come on, man. It fixes that. It's simple. One person does their hair. The other one, well, has the door shut. And nobody has to plan their entire morning around the other person's bladder. The second reason is hygiene. The science here is a little gross. Every time you flush a toilet with the lid up, it sprays a fine mist of whatever's in that bowl into the air. They call it toilet plume. These particles can shoot a few feet feet and hang there for several minutes, and researchers have pulled real bacteria right out of the mist. Now picture your open master bath, your toothbrush, your towels, your washcloth, your makeup, all that stuff sitting right there on the counter a few feet from the toilet. Closing the lid helps, but it doesn't fully seal everything. What actually seals is the wall and a door and a separate room that keeps all that contained where it belongs, away from the stuff that you put on your face or in your mouth. The third reason is that the market caught up. A private, separate toilet is now one of the top 5 most wanted features in a bathroom. Now, this is according to the National Association of Home Builders, and about 65% of buyers, they said, want this. That's most people who will ever walk through your home. And here's the part that we find interesting. It pulls 2 completely different crowds at the same time. You've got older buyers who remember these rooms and are, well, feeling nostalgia about them. And then you've got younger, minimalistic buyers who just see it as a cleaner, calmer, more private way to live. Both of them, well, they want the same wall. So that's the why. Privacy, hygiene, the demand, well, it all swung back in for favor. Which brings us to the real question. Should you actually carve one of these into your own bathroom? Before I get into that, one quick thing here. Every call like this is the stuff you decide before your walls close up. Now, I put this kind of information into a free renovation playbook. It's a room-by-room checklist you hand straight to your contractor, so the good decisions actually make it onto the plans instead of getting cut. Scan the QR code on the screen or grab the link in the description. It's free, and that's the only time I'm going to bring it up until the end. All right, should you build one? A water closet? Here's how I can tell homeowners whether a water closet makes sense for them. It comes down to one thing: space. A toilet, well, it needs room to sit in, its own enclosure without feeling punishment. Code will let you build a room as small as 30 inches wide by 60 inches deep. Do not build it that small. At that size, your knees are basically touching the door and your elbows are hitting both walls. The number of actual inches you want is around 36 wide and 66 to 72 inches deep, with at least 18 inches from the center of the toilet to each side of the wall and about 30 inches of clear space in front of it. Give it that, and it feels like a proper little room. Give it the bare minimum, and it feels like you got sent to timeout. So before you fall in love with the idea, go measure your bathroom, see if you have enough space, and then you'll be able to close off 36 to 72 and still leave the shower, the vanity, all that other fun stuff, room to breathe. So this could be one of the best upgrades you can make in the whole renovation. But if carving it out shrinks the shower down to a phone booth and steals half of your vanity counter, don't force it. A cramped everything is worse than an open bathroom that actually works. They do have solutions. There's knee walls, glass panels, etc. Now the cost, well, this is where people get surprised in a good way. If your toilet is already roughed in where the new room is going, you don't have to move too much plumbing. You're just paying for some framing, some drywall, maybe some baseboards, a door, paint, light. I mean, there's a lot of work, but it can run you anywhere from, $3,000 to $7,000. Now, the big jump comes if you have to relocate the toilet. Now, that's a little bit more than your standard. Now you're moving the drain, the vent. I mean, you're adding some money on there. So for a lot of master bathrooms, a separate toilet room is surprisingly cheap. But if you got to move things, expect at least 15 to 20% increase. And that's the whole story, guys. A separate toilet room. It started as a way to keep the smell out. It got deleted to save builders money, and it's coming back. It's coming back because of privacy, hygiene, and the plain old demand that lined up the entire time. And for most people, renovating a master bath, if you got the space, well, it's a small wall that buys you something that you'll be glad about every single day. If you want the full checklist of these calls to take into your own renovation, it's free. It's my renovation playbook, and the link's in the description. Now, my money's on this one, guys. Most of you are watching and want the water closet, and about half of you are gonna go measure as soon as you finish watching this video. So go measure. Drop your master bath dimensions in the comments and tell me if you have to give up space for that separate toilet room or if you got enough to build right now. I read every one, and I hope all of you have an amazing day. Thank you for watching Built by Becker.